what sucks? You know what really sucks? That some of the most addictive video games all come from Activision. Think about this shit for a second. Guitar Hero, Skylanders, World of Nerdcraft, yes, I know that's Blizzard's baby, but when the companies merged, Activision jumped in on milking that teat now too. Then you also have Destiny, and of course, Call of Duty. You'll see from the gameplay in the background that that's smelling he's playing some advanced war bullshit. Originally, I asked for some Nerdcraft. Yeah, I don't get too much Nerdcraft on my channel, so I figured, you know what, fuck it, this would be a good chance to bring out World of Warcraft. But apparently, nobody plays that motherfucker, so we're just gonna go with Call of Duty in this motherfucker. Now, I said this a few years ago when it comes to Call of Duty. In theory, this will go for any game. If you fuck with their money, they will make changes. If you fuck with the publisher's bank accounts, they will finally listen to fans. But if you're a YouTuber, you can go fuck yourself all you want because nothing's gonna change. Now, this isn't some magical formula or great advice you're gonna find on a fucking fortune cookie. This is really common sense. Any business knows there are keys to being successful. Create a good product or service, keep it reasonably priced to entice your customers to get it, hold on to and retain your good employees and keep them happy for the most part, but most importantly, pay attention to what your customers want and ask for, and try to deliver on their requests when possible. Any successful business is going to follow that model to make money. Activision sort of follows that business model, and they followed it for the most part in order to create a couple of massive franchises. Or in the case of World of War, Diablo, they merged with Blizzard to gain more franchises. But ultimately, what happens when a company starts to make too much money? They start to get greedy. And this is the trap that Activision has fallen into with all of their major money makers. Think about each franchise that they have right now. What's happened? When Activision realizes they have a major hit on their hands, when they realize that people become addicted to some of their properties, they put money ahead of the customers' wants and requests, and eventually, down the road, they will piss people off. When you piss people off, they will give you no more money. As customers, we have the ability to tell a publisher what we want. We have the ability to do it with our wallets, and for the past 3 to 4 years, we've sometimes done so. Other times, we've stupidly given the money without thinking, like fucking throwing money at the goddamn screen according to Destiny and that Luke asshat motherfucker. But anyway, let's look at their series one by one. Start with Activision's original fuck-ups. Guitar Hero. Originally created by Harmonix, published by Red Octane, Activision saw this could make money. So what did they do? They bought out Red Octane for the rights to the game. They didn't bring along Harmonix, but they decided to give their own internal studios Guitar Hero and proceeded to pimp that game out each and every year, driving it into the motherfucking ground. Over time, what happened? People got tired of paying for essentially the same shit. Because realistically, how different has Guitar Hero been over the years? How much does this game change from pressing buttons on a controller to mimic songs or that fucking guitar, whatever the hell they're selling that shit now? Not much. So what do people do? They stop buying it. They stop saying, you know what, this is some bullshit. I'm paying for a game, I'm paying for DLC, they want me to buy this fucking guitar all the goddamn time, and in the end, what the fuck has changed? Nothing. The music, that's it? Some artists made some more money off of me purchasing the game? Fuck this shit. Activision also has the highest selling annual franchise. Everyone's favorite game that you love to hate. Call of Duty. As much as we hate it, we still play that shit. Well, unless you're like me and you just walk away from that shit now. What started out as a quality World War II shooter game from Infinity Ward all those years ago has morphed into an annual franchise now by 3 studios. They struck gold with Call of Duty 4, there's no question about that. And then they used the popularity of that shit to pump out game after game after game each and every year. Then they created the endless DLC at $15 a piece, no less, knowing that people will buy it because of social pressure. At that time, nobody was paying $15 for DLC. $9.99 was the top price that people were paying. But what did Activision decide to do? Let's push the envelope. Let's push it to see exactly how much money we can squeeze out of a motherfucker. Let's price this shit at $15 a pop, and let's see what stupid motherfuckers are actually gonna buy it. And guess what? A whole bunch of stupid motherfuckers, including myself, bought that shit for fucking years. It's like, let's treat our customers like mindless zombies. They'll never fucking notice. Yeah, bullshit. We eventually fucking noticed over the past 4 years, the amount that Call of Duty has made has dropped each and every year. Thankfully, Activision likes to tout how many millions of games they sell, but since Ghost, they stopped that shit. Ever since Grand Theft Auto stomped their fucking heads in, they won't say shit. DLC sales, they won't even say anymore during their earnings calls. Each quarter, investors want to know how much money has Activision made. And in years past, they had the DLC earnings. Now, they don't even bother. Granted, Call of Duty is still a money-making machine. Outside of that one game, Grand Theft Auto, of course, every Call of Duty game has been the year's top seller. So they're still making shitloads of money. They're still making dollar fist over fist in this motherfucker. They're still putting piles of cash in the bank. It's just not the gigantic pile that it was before, nor do they want to say that. They liked saying the game outsold itself each and every year. Now it isn't. People got tired of it. Smartly. They also have Skylanders, which preys on little kids and sells toys also. Oh, God, man, you can't be serious with this shit. You know, the idea of this game is pretty cool. The tie-in to toys obviously caters to the youngest market, one of the most underutilized targets in video games. And, of course, there are some games that are on the market that are competing like this. Like, what is that, the Disney Infinity shit? Is that the one that is called Disney Infinity, where they're using all their Disney characters and Marvel characters and all that other bullshit? But anyway, here's the thing. It's another game that releases constant products in order to keep that cash cow going. In order to get more money in, what do? Release another toy, release another game, release another fucking stand that you can have 2 characters now and play one game at the same time. Holy fucking shit. This is fucking brilliant. Because not only are you paying for a game now parents of all things are having to buy their fucking kids toys because, oh, mommy and daddy, look at that. That's that Super Ninja with super duper extra strength in this motherfucker. Oh, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Now, speaking of biggest cash cows of all, the biggest one isn't even their own creation. When Activision merged with Blizzard, they partnered with one of the greatest money-making schemers of all time. Let's buy the company that asks players to keep paying money each and every month to play the same fucking game. And they've been doing this for over 10 fucking years. I mean, Activision can't even take credit for this amount of money collecting. They rationalized it was better to buy out that company that makes all the money and then try to keep the profits for themselves. And don't get me wrong, Blizzard isn't a giant bunch of scumbags like Treyarch or Bethesda. They've actually paid attention to their fans over the years, and they've made some concessions to fans when it comes to the game itself. The one thing they have never changed on, though, is their pricing structure for Nerdcraft. Sure, they have other properties, Diablo, StarCraft, I believe there's this Overwatch shit that's coming out, it looks like a fucking shooter game, whatever the fuck this shit is, whatever, you get the point, right? But we all know Blizzard is known and recognized by their biggest moneymaker in Nerdcraft. A game that warped from real-time strategy into the largest MMORPG game in history and is recognized as the most lucrative game in the history of the Guinness World Records. I mean, shit, that's a lot of fucking money we're talking about. They're up to like $10 billion net profit. Seriously. That's how much they made over the fucking years. I mean, what are they asking for now? $150 a year to play this fucking game? Is that what it is? Nerdcraft guys, you guys can tell me that shit? I believe I'm not mistaken, it's a 6-month subscription, which comes out to about $13 a month to play a 10-year-old game. Am I right on that shit? I know there's all kinds of purchase things that you could buy this now, buy this later, get free months, get free time. Oh, get the fuck out of here with your goddamn orcs and Wookiees and shit, man. Speaking of a $150 game to play a year, how about that Destiny game, huh? People paid $100 fucking to play the damn beta all year long, and now Bungie's getting around and fixing all that shit that people complained about when they rolled out their incomplete product. Oh, Destiny is a 10-year plan. Yeah, 10 years to finish one fucking game, motherfucker. You know, I don't have a problem with a company making money at all. I really don't. That's their purpose, and that's how they keep products going. The problem I have is when greed takes over, and unknowing or misinformed gamers continue to give these companies money for the wrong reason. And we've been giving Activision plenty of money over the years, and pretty much for all the wrong fucking reasons. Now, here's the thing. There is a silver lining in all this, and it's exactly what I said at the beginning of the video. If you fuck with their money, they will make changes to the game. Just look at some of the recent results when we started fucking with their money. Guitar Hero was driven into the ground by Activision, and only now are they coming out with their first game in over 5 fucking years, and I believe it's coming out in October if I'm not mistaken. And the best part is, Activision actually had to make changes to the game, and they had a new studio work on this motherfucker. A new guitars being added, or whatever the fuck it is, some new effects, and the game will be supported through DLC longer, instead of just asking people to buy a new game each and every year. In other words, the annual release of the game is going away in favor of releases every few years. Sure, Activision will still try to nickel and dime customers and charge more per song than ever before. I'm sure they will try and get all their fucking money, but those are optional items, and the support for the individual game is actually going to last longer than it had before. Call of Duty finally getting some major changes. The biggest two being the beta and the third studio that was added to the rotation. There's no question that this is going to be the most purchased game of the year, aside from a Rockstar game coming out and blowing it out of the water. But annual game sales are not as high as they were in its heyday, and the DLC sales have really plummeted each year. So changes had to be made. People got tired of the bullshit. People got tired of the game itself, and finally, started moving away from the fucking franchise to enjoy other things. And the more people stop buying the game, the more changes you're going to see. We're seeing the beta for the first time. Why are we seeing the beta? Because people are skeptical about what they've been offering as of late. Season pass holders completely dropped when it came to actual revenue in this motherfucker. Why? Because people are looking at the game, determining whether or not they like this motherfucker, and if it's worth the 10-month investment and keep playing this shit. Do they continue to buy the season pass? Sure. But is it as much as before? Hell fucking no. People finally smartened up. Nerdcraft subscription numbers are always fucking fluctuating. At their peak was 12 million, and I think right now they're just under 6 million and shit like that. But that goes up and down each time they offer a new expansion pack and shit like that. What Blizzard learned the last time, though, is that they can't sit back and expect people to keep playing a 10-year-old game without new content at least being announced. They went a very long time without announcing a pack. They release some shit every 2 years or so. That's pretty much been their schedule, but they waited a while before they announced that something was coming out, and people finally decided, you know what? Fuck it. I don't need to pay for this shit. I already have everything I want. And usually, they let their accounts lapse, and eventually they might come back to the next expansion or whatever the case may be. But here's the problem. The more people start leaving expansions, the more they start saying, you know what, I don't feel like playing this expansion. Chances are, they're not going to buy the next one. So over the past couple years, Blizzard has started to notice all its subscribers are starting to dwindle down. And with these numbers, two things keep coming up. Is this game ever going to convert to a free-to-play game? And will there ever be a World of Warcraft Part 2 or Part 4? What the fuck is it up to? I know there's 2 to 3 Nerdcrafts before this shit, and then they made World of Nerdcraft or whatever the fuck. I don't fucking know. But these two conversations always come up. Will they make it free to play, and will there be a sequel in order to get some more content out this motherfucker? Because let's be honest, this is a 10-year-old game. The graphics are okay, they get some updates, but we're talking 10 years fucking old. Other games, like League of Legends and this Dota crap, all those fucking whatever the hell, those pro league games and shit like that, they're starting to outpace Warcraft when it comes to the actual money that they can make. So naturally, Activision is taking a look at this shit saying, how the fuck do we get this sumbitch back on track? Skylanders, another game, completely dependent on parents. If parents finally tell their kids, go run outside and play in traffic or something, you know, go play some sports, motherfucker, ride your bike or whatever the fuck it is, then all these fucking toys in this game will be rolled out at a much easier pace for parents to keep up with. But in essence, Activision realized, hey, I can sucker these kids to keep buying the motherfucker. What do parents do? Sure enough, they buy little Timmy his fucking toy because they just want this stupid motherfucker to shut the fuck up and stop whining and shit like that. And of course, Destiny, the ultimate ripoff. In a few weeks, we'll see how many people leave the franchise for good, because the Taken King purchases will be a good indicator as to how many people are still tolerating Bungie and Activision's bullshit. Ultimately, we as gamers have more power than we think and use. Sure, Activision can slap a price tag on something. Sure, they can overcharge you for crap even if you don't want to pay that fucking money. But we control how much money they will make. Walking away from popular games in droves is what causes change. Ghost didn't sell well. World at War subscriptions dropped when they had no annual announcements, and now they're starting to make annual announcements just to say what's going to be coming out. Diablo needed major changes. Destiny needs major changes. Guitar Hero was completely dropped because it was the same fucking thing for years. This is the power we have over Activision. When enough people use that power, you create change. Unfortunately, there are too many uninformed idiots out there who just blindly give them their money because they just don't give a shit. Oh, it's only $60. I can find that shit in the couch. Oh, it's only $15 for DLC. I'll go blow somebody who'll give me $20 for a blowjob. That's how fucking stupid people are, man. But in essence, as a community, we can create change. We can stop giving Activision all this money and only give them money for things that we deem worthy. Now, obviously, at no point am I sitting here saying, don't buy a game. Don't go out and play Call of Duty. Don't buy the next World of Nerdcraft expansion. I really don't give a shit. Obviously, people are going to spend their money in droves. But the reality is, if people want to see change, if people want to see Activision finally listen to you, the only way they're going to do it is when the entire community stops opening their wallet and just giving these motherfuckers money. The easiest way to get change is to not give them money. If they're not making piles of cash over piles of cash, they're going to turn around and say, oh shit, we need to change because we need to make more cash. The fact is, if more people paid attention to what they were giving their money to, chances are we will get a whole lot better product in return in the long run. Anyways, that does it for today's math lesson on common sense. No, really, this is some common sense shit, but it almost needs to be said because people just keep giving fucking money away left and right. I ain't gonna get into this, man. Next week, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of videos for you guys, so you guys will enjoy that. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.